listening to Big World Network.
Accidental Passion, Episode 10, Certainty. Read by Meagan Hedin. Warning! Although there is no material subject matter within that couldn't be found in any general bookstore with no age constraint, this series is rated 18 and contains adult situations and content. It is intended for mature audiences only and should not be read if you are uncomfortable with graphic sexual intimacy. Just as Mary entered the stairs to the hospital parking garage, the door swung open before she made it up the first flight. It was Dr. Corbin, who had also just finished his shift in the ER. He had a backpack slung over his shoulder and had changed out of his scrubs into blue jeans and a t-shirt, making him look fairly regular after being seen in such an authoritative position for the last 12 hours. "Hey," he called out after her. "I didn't think we would ever get through that shift. It's a good thing every day isn't that busy, or I might have become a dermatologist." Mary laughed as she slowed her pace so he could catch up with her. They were both heading to the 4th level where the employee parking was located. "What, and give up all this fun?" she kidded, making idle chat. "Besides, this is way more fun than looking at rashes and zits all day." Dr. Corbin, Michael, smiled as they rounded the corner to start up another flight in the narrow concrete stairwell. Noticing Mary's purse, which she was digging around in to find her car keys while climbing the last flight, he commented, "Nice purse." It had a long strap and the design was a fun array of colored stripes. Mary laughed. Thanks. It's actually a beach tote that I bought at Target for $5, but I'm glad you like it. I've never been one for spending lots of money on designer purses." "Frugal and good taste," Michael laughed in reply. As they reached the 4th floor, he pushed the long bar on the metal door, reaching in front of Mary to hold it open for her, and then following behind her into the parking garage. The colder spring air hit them both, and Mary felt a little shiver. Noticing, Michael commented, "Those scrubs don't do much for keeping you warm." Stopping at her car, Mary turned and faced him while she separated out the right key for her door. "I wish now I had worn my sweatshirt." She was a little chilly, and was now very aware that her nipples were extremely hard, and no doubt very apparent through her scrub top, even though she was wearing a bra. Facing her and looking down directly into her eyes, Michael put his hands on her arms and slid them up to her shoulders. "I wish I could keep you warm," he said softly, the atmosphere between them immediately changing. "Dr. Corbin, I really can't—" Before she could finish, her sentence was interrupted by him leaning into her, hands on her shoulders, and putting his lips to hers softly. As he kissed her, she instinctively allowed the tip of his tongue to enter between her lips before she was aware of it. She felt an electrifying shiver move through her body as his right hand slid down the front of her shoulder and his fingers moved down to her side, grazing her erect nipple. Hearing the metal door from the stairwell open, Michael pulled away from her as a male nurse exited into the garage. "See you tomorrow," he said, as he turned to walk to his car. The moment was over before Mary even had a chance to begin to process it. "What just happened?" she thought to herself as she climbed into her car. Mary unlocked the apartment door and entered, still chilled even after the short drive home with the car heat on full blast. Her feet hurt after the 12-hour shift in the ER. She was very tired, and now she was also confused with thoughts of the kiss that were still fresh in her mind. She hadn't even had a chance to process what she was feeling, if anything. She knew she was on overload. Dropping her purse on a small table by the inside of the door, she kicked her shoes off, enjoying the sensation of the soft carpet under her feet after a shift of standing on a hard linoleum floor. "Alicia?" she called out. The room was dark except for a small lamp with subdued light on top of an end table by the couch. It was then that Mary noticed the soft music playing. "I'm in here," she heard Alicia call from the hall area in their small but modern apartment. The only 2 rooms from the hall were the bedroom and the bathroom. Mary walked towards the hall and noticed soft flickering light coming from the partially opened bathroom door. Opening it fully, she was greeted by the sight and smells of their large bathroom alive with the dancing light of about 5 candles and at least 10 tea lights lining their large oval tub. The tub was filled with bubbles and had several towels rolled up neatly at the base. It looked so soothing to her, so wonderfully relaxing, and so inviting. It really took her breath away. It was exactly what she needed after her 12-hour shift and confusing day. It was a beautiful sight with all the dancing light from the candles and tea lights in the dark. The bathroom looked like something from a home design magazine, she thought to herself. "Welcome home, sweetheart," Alicia whispered from behind her. Mary turned. Alicia looked so beautiful, so soft, and so loving. She was wearing only a thin, short robe that exposed her sexy legs all the way up to just below her waist, and the belt was barely holding it closed, leaving a lot of her small, sexy breast exposed. Mary instantly felt herself fill with desire looking at Alicia. And then, finally, the last bit of confusion from the kiss with Dr. Corbin was washed away as Alicia gently put her hands and fingers on Mary's cheeks and pulled her in for a sensuous kiss. Mary's eyes involuntarily closed from pleasure as Alicia slid her hands up over her ears and ran her fingers into her hair, sending waves of pleasure throughout Mary's body as Alicia continued the soft kiss. "Now, at this moment, it's just me and this room and your world. Let me completely give for your pleasure," Alicia whispered as she stood in front of Mary and, slowly, with both hands, untied the white ties at the waist of Mary's scrub bottoms. Holding both ends, she pulled until the knot came undone and the scrub bottom slid down Mary's legs, seemingly in slow motion, the fabric sending amazing sensations through Mary's body. The atmosphere was making even the simple task of being undressed electrifying. Alicia then put her hands on the bottom sides of Mary's scrub top and pulled it up over her body. Mary lifted her arms to allow it to slide off and over her head, leaving her standing in front of Alicia in just her panties and bra. As Alicia leaned in to reach behind her to undo the bra, Alicia lightly kissed her lower neck just above her shoulder before pulling the bra completely off over her arms. And then, in one fluid motion, Alicia slid Mary's panties down over her legs and Mary stepped out of them, now totally naked in front of the woman she loved. Alicia slid one hand from her shoulder, slowly, down over Mary's arm to her hand and entwined their fingers, leading Mary to the large tub. They were both being careful not to kick the many tea lights lining the side as Alicia guided Mary into the tub. Alicia sat down with her back against the end of the tub and positioned Mary between her outstretched legs so she was leaning back against Alicia's body. The warm water and bubbles from the wonderfully scented bubble bath seemed to dance around the inside of Mary's legs, stimulating her and erasing the fatigue she had felt with such intensity only moments ago. Leaning back against the soft body of her lover, Mary felt gentle kisses from behind, around her ear, as Alicia reached for a loofah, dipping it in the warm bubbly water, and began washing her back with it. Again, Mary felt herself getting lost in the sensations. The loofah was so incredibly stimulating on her skin. Alicia using exactly the right amount of pressure as she washed her back, and on the upper part of her lower back side, stimulating between Mary's cheeks. She then felt Alicia's arms reach around her, and felt Alicia's breasts tight against her back. Alicia dipped the loofah back into the warm water, bringing it up to the front of Mary's shoulders, washing her in gentle circles. As she reached Mary's breast, the circular motion and stimulation over Mary's nipples sent shivers of pleasure throughout her body, dampened only by the warm water she was immersed in and the warm body she was pressed up against. Once again, she felt Alicia's tender lips kiss her just behind her ear and on the back of her neck. Alicia brought her hand back into the warm bubble bath and, reaching forward, placed the loofah on the inside of Mary's knee and slowly worked it up towards her body in small little circles. The pleasure was so simple, yet so pure and incredible. Feeling Alicia's body tight against her back, her smooth legs on either side of hers, cheeks pressed tightly between Alicia's legs, lips at her neck and ear, and the sensation of the circular stimulation working its way up the inside of her legs until reaching between them, Mary let out a long, slow breath of pleasure. Despite her confusion earlier in the day with the kiss from Dr. Corbin, Mary was filled with certainty that she was with the one she loved. Mary whispered to Alicia, "I want to spend my life with you." Her words were responded to with a very soft and tender kiss just below her earlobe as Alicia pulled her even tighter against her body.
This has been a presentation of Big World Network. Visit us on BigWorldNetwork.com for more free weekly series, or follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks for listening.
You're listening to Big World Network.